Welcome back to Spiel of Time, a podcast so annoying that only 50% of the hosts can bother making it. We're having a little bit of technical problems right now. I'm sure everything is going to work out fine relatively soon. Along the Ways is the background. It's actually we're going to do the penultimate episode of season 1 of Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. It is the Dark Along the Ways, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a more neutral background since we don't have a lot of real estate to take up. I can see that one of our co-hosts is attempting to log in. We'll give her a few minutes. But yeah, this is a big episode to cover, and it's an interesting one. This is the one where I got really excited. I was getting high fantasy. This isn't just your typical one supernatural creature and a bunch of sword and vague sorcery. This was magical pathways to cut through the continent, exotic kingdoms, missing royalty. It had it all. All. Yeah, I was excited about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What did you think, Judd?
I was excited to see the ways. It was not what I expected. It definitely is different than the books, a bit. And the way the rules are a little different than in the books. They're like combining a couple of different ways to magically travel, to make it just one coherent thing. And yeah, it was a little confusing because I just read about them in my reread. So, but I enjoyed it, and it was cool to see the ways. I definitely spent my high school life ripping these books off for my D&D games, and I realized that I had something that was pretty much the ways in a recent game, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm still ripping these books off, like still just doing it." And yeah, it was funny. It just like seeing it made me realize, oh man, I just used this. I called them something totally different. They were kind of something totally different, but at the end of the day, it was kind of very similar. And yeah, it was cool to see.
That's interesting.
Cool to see it. And that's not even getting to that cold open. I feel like that's the opening sequence of this one.
We have to discuss the cold open. All right, yes. While we're stalling, I'm going to throw up a comment on the screen. Are some people matting out? That's a great observation. No, we're waiting for two of our hosts to come on, and I don't think I did any introductions. Matt is not on the show. I'm Frank, and I am joined by Judd. I'm sure Natty and Lauren will be with us shortly. We are going to talk. That's the danger of doing a live show. You have to go on no matter what. So that cold open did something amazing for me. It gave me one of my favorite experiences in watching media is when I figure something out like a beat before.
Nice.
It actually is explained to me.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this. It's an amazing cold open. We could talk about it for quite a while. But when it comes back into play later on in the episode, just a moment before it dawns on Rand, it dawns on me. And I love that. I love when that happens.
Yeah.
I think one of the ways they got away with it is it's so compelling in and of itself. It's such an exciting, badass moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Kudos to... I mean, I'm on IMDb. Magdalena Sitova, who's the stunt woman who played Rand's mom in that. Wow, was she unreal?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, but yeah, just an awesome performance. I mean, as if childbirth isn't harrowing enough. Let's just get people to try to kill you while you're doing it.
Right.
Are you guys talking about the blood snow?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, come on.
What else is there to talk about?
I mean, how like that jump where she jumps this way and grabs the guy's cloak, and then the momentum of her body yanks him back, and she I don't even know how they choreographed it, but it was gorgeous.
Yeah. I also some nerdy part of me was also excited because she actually thrusted with spears rather than like there's just like a thing that fantasy movies do with spears where they're like, let's twirl them. And it's like, no, just thrust them in the face. And she was just thrusting people in the face and killing them because she just didn't have time. She had to deliver a baby. And I loved it. Anyway,
it was very no nonsense.
Yeah,
it was very like I gotta keep going because like this baby is coming.
Yeah.
Watching this with a house full of women was amazing because they were all like, yes, and they were it was a moment when the stabbing takes place, when she gets stabbed in the side, and they're devastated, and it really did. It was an amazing scene.
Yeah,
and it ends with such like a cliffhanger and somehow it just moved to the back of my mind. I did not think about it at all until the very end of the episode, where Rand's realization became my realization, and then it was just wonderful. Just a really well done.
Oh, wow.
Moment. Yeah, and I love it when that happens. It doesn't happen often, but I love it when it does happen. Nanny, what is your overall thoughts on this episode? What did you think of this penultimate episode of the season?
It's interesting. I loved it, but I have heard, because somehow this has taken over my life, and I'm reading articles and I'm listening to other podcasts, and but people really upset about one change in the show from the books, which I guess we can talk about later. But like, I just thought it was, there's so many wonderful things, and like I thought it was, the action at the beginning was so good. I thought the ways were designed, and the environment and the sound, and there's just so much good. I loved it.
So about the ways being different, that's something Judd mentioned as well, at very least. So obviously no frame of reference for myself. The way I imagined this being done, I think I first, before actually seeing it in this episode, pre-episode, I thought maybe it would be some sort of wormhole magical portal thing, which would have been fine, I guess, whatever it is. But the way it was depicted in this made me feel like it was, and I hate to do this, especially considering last week's episode, but an Underdark, a subterranean world that's a shortcut, effectively, because you're going like in a ridiculous kind of Wellesian way, where you're cutting through the planet to get to another location faster as a straight line. I have no idea what the books were like, but that's what it felt like to me, and I love that because it didn't feel like hand-wavium. It wasn't like, oh, you get there faster because of magic. It felt more like this is a ridiculous, implausible way a medieval fantasy world would work, that you could burrow through the earth into some lost world and get somewhere faster. And I really enjoyed it. How close am I to being right?
You're totally wrong. As a matter of fact, Loyal says this is a way that exists out of space and time. Like, he pretty much says, like, this is hand-wavium, don't think about it too much, in like the previous episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's more the other way, where it's like moving behind the world, and it used to be a bright, beautiful, verdant place, and now it's an overgrown mess.
Yeah.
Interesting. So is that close to what people are complaining about? Is it even more a mystical tunnel in the books?
I don't know. From my memory, it was pretty close to what I anticipated. And like, because it's supposed to be like, there's these islands that are connected by these bridges, and like, so we kind of got to see that, and I didn't have a visual representation in my head as far as like the hexagonal shapes, but I really liked how it looked. And like the lightning that was happening was very ominous, and like it was just, I don't know, it was neat. I had no problems with how it looked.
Judge, you mentioned something about it being not quite what you would expect, but did I read that wrong?
Yeah, in the books, the way it related to weaving was a little different, and channeling was a little different. In this, you had to like channel to open it, and in the books there were like these little switches that look like leaves, and you put the leaf in place, and then it opened, and it meant that you could like take a leaf out and then like put it on the other side and like jam a door closed. It the way it related to channeling was a little bit different. And yeah.
So evidently in one of the bonus features, it's explained or shown that one of those leaves, I can't remember how it's like an Alessandra leaf or
Yeah.
but that's how Pat Fane got in.
Right.
So those exist in this milieu, but
Got it. Cool.
we didn't get to see it.
Interesting.
So.
Got it. Interesting. Yeah. It felt a little different. Just the way the channeling was mentioned and talked about. But that's fine. It didn't take me out of it. I wasn't like cursing the screen or anything. I was just like, oh, this is a little different. Okay, moving on. Like I have so little invested that I just am like, yep, great. It's a little different.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And that definitely seems to be the way to enjoy these things, is to
totally.
Yeah. Allow for a little creative license or whatever.
Right.
I mean, just even from when they get in there and they Matt, and they show it close, they have to go back and get him. And like, I liked that there was a lot more interplay between the kids in this one. Like you really got to see them talking and having arguments, and you got to see kind of the structure of their relationship. And you got to see that Moraine is mission focused. Like she's like, this is what we are doing, and damn everything else, basically. So
right.
It's, but then when they're in there and you get to see, like, you hear the whistling again. You're like, what? The whistling. And then when the Trolloc attacks, and I think that it was kind of like that, not to bring it back to Lord of the Rings again, but when or I don't know if I think it's The Hobbit in the old cartoon, when it's lightning's crashing and Gandalf's like, it might be the Mines of Moria, like, let's go, and dung dung, and they're running.
Yeah,
it kind of reminded me of that.
There was a lot of Mines of Moria in my head while this was happening. It's impossible. We are beholden to the things we've seen before, but it still stood apart in its own way, and I did appreciate that. I do like how they were ramping up the paranoia between the different kids and their own self-doubt that's echoing in their heads to the winds, mirrored by things that they're doing, like how Perrin was able to see in the dark, and that was suspicious. And all these little clues that they're putting in, despite the fact that it is just moving the plot point forward, it feels like character moments, right? You feel like that you care that they are afraid of what's going on, and that they're for the first time confronted with the fact that they will definitely not survive this. Only one of them may, if they turn out to be the dragon. And further backing up the fact that Matt was intentionally left behind, because if he were the dragon, he was definitely going to be the one who betrayed them. And all of this was a lot of exposition, info dump, and pathos. I loved it.
Well, and with that, you have to wonder, I mean, from a show structure standpoint, if that was their initial plan, or if they had to,
if it was a pivot,
adjust things when he was like, I'm actually not coming back on set.
Right.
Like, who knows?
That was a pivot. I mean,
it was really good.
Amazing. It really did do a great job. Judd, you were about to say something?
The thing in this episode that did not work for me was the weird, hey, let's make Perrin, Egwene, and Rand a triangle. Like, it just was like, I don't care what the Black Wind says. I just don't buy it. Why does anyone else buy this? Like,
Well,
it just, yeah.
So that's what people were complaining about. That was the main thing that I read about.
Yeah, it didn't work for me. The only reason why it wasn't a showbuster, and because I was watching it, I what I usually do is I watch it alone, and then a couple days later I watch it again with my wife Jonaki, and when that shit came up, she was like, "What the heck?" And I was like, "Yeah, they don't commit to it real long. Don't worry about it." Like, and that was the only thing. Like, it was almost like they were like, "Yeah, this isn't working. Let's just get through this as fast as possible to get to the good stuff." Because it felt like they didn't jump in it with both feet. Like, they weren't like, "Hey, this is going to be a long-term thing."
Yeah, it almost immediately gets resolved by Rand going like, I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is the appropriate reaction, I think.
Right.
So one interesting thing, so when I heard the complaining about it, this week, my wife and we watched episode 1, and in there, even when he's talking to his wife, Perrin, there's weirdness, and it's tied to this where he's like, "I love you," and she's like, "I know," but like it's when he's coming home from Egwene's braiding,
right?
Yeah, and so it is interesting that they have been kind of, and like when it's just Perrin and Egwene running away from the wolves, and they had that kind of month together, and I was like, you know what? These are kids of this exact same age from the same town, and so I was like, I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, Larlar, what's going on?
I'm not tech savvy, y'all.
No worries, no worries whatsoever. We're just talking about the tacked on emotional moment,
the love triangle,
the little triangle that was added for the reasons. I'm gonna highlight
the CW,
the CW moment. I'm glad we all. So I, again, not knowing it wasn't in the book, I was like, oh, all right, I don't know about this. And I just think this is a great point from one of our viewers on YouTube, Curry. To me, the thing would have worked as a stress situation, but they gave Perrin a wife to kill, and it got super awkward. Yeah, that is kind of what, like, you're giving Perrin some interesting background. You're on the verge of giving him also a refrigerated, spouse, to use a coined term from comics, where you just have a love interest who is killed to give you motivation and character depth. And then later on, you're getting this tacked on love triangle. It does feel like you keep lessening this cool character we had for literally an episode.
Yeah.
And that feels kind of weird. I'm not a big fan of that. Yeah. But they didn't seem to stick to it. I think it's going to come back. I don't think we've left it alone. There's too much. I think there's too much value in having love triangles in these kinds of stories to a lot of people.
So lazy and boring. Ugh.
Yeah. So tweet about it. Everyone should tweet about it if you didn't like it. I'm sure people are. I mean, I looked up one thing today on Reddit and found 48 filled threads about how bad the show is. And
it's not because it's not in the book. Like, that's not why I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's just because I find those triangles boring as hell. And it's just like, I don't know. I think there's just more interesting stuff to have there. Sorry, Lola, you go. You just got here.
Yeah.
No, that was exactly what I was going to say. There's so much more interesting things to worry about. And even with relationships, there's so many more interesting relationships that are going to come. Yeah. Just give it time.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, in the 6.5 minutes that they spent on that triangle, they could have gone to Camelin.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Back. They could have gotten to Camelin and back.
The messenger thread for the show was alive with that. And I'm going, oh, great.
Come on.
My last, and I don't want to spend more time on it than the episode did, but my one comment would be, I think there's, other than the CW love triangle, there's a way of having there be a reality that there are mixed feelings and people dealing with it. As long as it doesn't devolve into the I'm secretive about it, I don't want to tell people, then people fight about it. If they talk about it like an adults and deal with it, that would be a goddamn amazing if
Yeah.
they actually were able to be the first people in film to actually be like, yeah, I think that we have some sort of tension here. Let's talk about it and figure out a way to move forward.
And the other thing I just want to mention real fast is that everyone who hasn't liked the show, who has enjoyed the books, when they criticize it, they mention CW. And like even before this episode, I have a good friend who is, you know, is an English professor, and she was like, it looks like CW. Like, so I feel like the producers need to know that when the show isn't working, that's what it looks like, and when it is working, it looks like its own thing.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's my.
And man, when we watched that first episode again, the scene where the Reds still that first guy.
Yeah.
And even when we were talking about it, we mentioned how out of place it looked. It looks very LARPy, very CW. And I was just like, ugh, this looked worse than I even remembered. But then there was a lot of the stuff in Emmons Field, which, I mean, it was great. So
yeah, it's interesting. And, you know, first season to get your pacing is completely fair and good. So before we move off of the ways, Laura, you just joined us. Anything you want to add about what you felt about the ways as they were going through it?
So I could hear. I couldn't see or anything, but I could hear. And you, Judd, were saying that it didn't look the way that you thought it was, and that's exactly what I said, because there was too many angles and everything. But Lowell pointed out that there were fruit trees. And I'm like, yes, that's it. It should be a forest. Okay. So they explained away the thing that I had a problem with. So I could understand. I mean, I can't understand why they did it, but I could see that they tried to like show that it had changed.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead. No,
go ahead. You're good.
Right.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Macha-Chin. Thought it needed to be a little bit more blood curdling, you know. In the books, it's pretty terrifying. And this just sounded like, you know, a mean girl.
ADR mean girl. Yeah.
So I mean, I need to see like a little bit more like screaming, because it's supposed to like make you go mad. And I could see where it would make like teenager-ish people go mad, but you know, I just needed it to be a little bit scarier.
Yeah, I agree, and I would have like let's make it say things to Perrin that are actually interesting. Like the killing the wife is one thing, but like, hey, you know, what's going on with your wolfness? Like maybe you are a dark friend. Like, you know, like, let's just like put some real doubt in him and give it some stakes rather than you like a girl. I don't know. It's just like
Yeah.
Anyway,
Faldara,
the fortress city of Faldara. Sorry, Natty.
Oh, I was gonna say, and it could have said to Matt, like, I mean, to Rand, like, you abandoned your best friend, and or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It would have been nicer if some of the doubts brought up were a little bit more serious than you're not that great, you know, and people are going to realize it. It was a very high school, but I didn't even. I guess I wasn't impressed when they shook it off after they left. I'm like, yeah, good. You are potentially facing the end of the world. Probably don't get shook by a annoying wind. An annoying wind is not a good name for a monster.
Is that another Christopher Guest movie?
It's a sequel to The Annoying Wind.
It should be much scarier, like blood coming out of your eyes and nose. Terrifying,
right. And sometimes the best way to do that is to not do it, right? Just have people having your actors reacting to it and not be able to hear it. It's difficult to play fantasy in a way that is actually going to deliver that. But that's one of the things I was going to say about the ways, I guess, is that, and all these more high fantasy things that we're experiencing now, is I love seeing literary translations of fantasy elements on the screen and people's reactions to them about whether or not they are accurate, because obviously these are made up things, right? The ways aren't real. It's one thing to say this character doesn't look the way I expected today and the character is a human, but the ways aren't real. So if you're saying that's not the way the ways are supposed to look, my question to you is, how is this magical world supposed to look? So again, using cultural shorthand, it's the Balrog question. What did the Balrog look like to people before the Lord of the Rings movies came out? Right. You don't have consensus on that. Everybody has their own fantasy artists that they like the most. But does it have wings? Does the Balrog have wings, or the ways have trees?
Right.
Dead trees. You don't know until you see it on screen. And then if it's really popular, that's the vision everyone gets. And that's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So the thing with Jordan is he's got 14 books to explain what the ways look like. He spends about 20 pages explaining what the ways look like.
You could get
there's
closer.
A lot.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot.
Yeah. The other thing about Jordan that I think is interesting when I'm rereading him is he uses repetition a lot because he wants you to remember things and he doesn't know if it's going to be a million words before he gets back to it. So he repeats things like almost. There's almost like a sing-song rhythm to it, the way he writes. And he repeats a lot from a lot of different points of view. So he really drives things home. And also people have been living with this stuff for 20 some odd years. And so they've anyway, the fortress city of Faldara. Anyway.
Yeah. Let's move on. That city was awesome. I loved it. Badass.
Yeah. There was
I liked that it was culturally diverse. It seemed like a cool lived-in Borderlands world, right? And I thought it was interesting. It was not, everything I looked at was different than what I've seen already in the show, which makes the world seem bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. So tell me a little bit about this town. This city? What should I be on the lookout for? How much time am I expecting to spend here? Anyone?
Not a lot.
No?
Not a lot, yeah.
I mean, for the show, like we spent too much time there.
Oh, really?
It's not a lot at all. It's basically where you meet some characters.
Wait a minute. Lar, since you came in late, we all gave our general opinions of the show, and I'm sensing from you that maybe I would like to know how you felt about this episode.
It was all right.
Oh, all right.
It was all right. It was I like the Ajas, I really like the White Tower and all that intrigue and all this. This was just getting to a place. I need the next episode. There was a lot of talking in this one. All right. Yeah. I enjoyed Rand finding out because I needed it to happen. That was about it.
What about Min and
So Min annoyed me.
Oh wow. Okay. Why?
Not the character, not the person, not the actor, the way that they portrayed Min. I don't know if we want to get to Min yet.
Sure.
But in the book, she sees images above people's heads. So she sees like a dagger above someone's head. She doesn't see them doing anything. She doesn't see their pasts. She doesn't see their presence. She sees literal images, like symbols. And so
it's more like tarot reading than it would be a little movie playing.
Yes.
I got it.
So you there's a lot more room for interpretation. It's not like I saw a baby being born on this mountain and this guy with a hair marked blade took the child and really you see a heron and you have to figure out if it means a hair marked sword or a bird in the swamp.
That would have been much better.
Right?
That's much better. Yeah.
It's so much more in the book because she doesn't know what she's looking at. She doesn't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or anything.
It kind of read like she didn't want to be bothered in this one.
She doesn't.
She was handling Bar. She's like, yeah, I saw that you were actually adopted, but I don't want to. I have to answer this question. God, give me some time. I have to clean up this bar. Wow, yeah. So, and in reality, it's more of a mystery.
It's
she's not
very
sure
different. Yeah. So that's what annoyed me. She played it well. It was just all right.
The part is the part. Yeah.
It's those tiny things that I don't understand why there's a difference besides just eating up that time and telling that story without putting more into it. I don't know.
I think that's it. I think that's a big.
Yeah.
I think part of it
Yeah.
is this really just spelled it out faster, right? You got
Yeah.
me right to it. And to be honest, I'm going into this with a little bit of doubt of whether Rand is the dragon. To be honest, I'm not sure if he is, because it seemed as if like she was a little bit on the fence. She answered kind of begrudgingly. If that scene had been played differently as a tarot, if she said, "I saw the heron marked blade. I think you're the dragon," I'd be at least 50% doubt right now. But judging from everyone's reactions in this thing, I guess Rand is in fact the dragon. And
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Wait,
I
Rand's
don't
the
know.
dragon?
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, so I mean, if you piece together viewers like me, that might be the reason why they're like, this isn't reading well. People keep thinking we're playing them a mystery that's going to be revealed 3 seasons down. But no, Rand is the dragon. We have to move the story forward. But yeah, it's a totally legitimate criticism about that. What about how I'm blanking on the warder's name? Lan's big reveal that he's a fantasy world trope.
He's a king without a kingdom.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, he's Strider.
The reference, I get that reference.
Oh, he totally is a Strider. You're right. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, Judge, you've been indoctrinated. You didn't even see that.
I didn't even see it. Wow. I was blind. I was just like, well, it's Ram. It's Lan. That's what he is. No, yeah. Yeah, he's totally a Strider. You're absolutely right. But I mean, I think he's lost his kingdom in his lifetime, right? So it's a little different. But
it's
anyway.
Targaryen.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. There's a whole trope that we got.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I'm calling it a trope and making it seem as if I don't like it, I actually do like it. I like that there's a little bit. I like these classic fantasy rhythms that we're going through, and I want to see this original take on it. I'm hoping it's an original take. I hope he doesn't rebuild the sword, and is a good omnipotent ruler.
I think it helps what you're saying. Build the world. Like there's a whole other kingdom now. Like we're just hearing about so many places and things.
Yeah. And I love that Faldara felt like it was a place in motion, and that like the sister had history with the White Tower, and the king of Faldara or whatever he was thought that she was there for him, and she wasn't. Like just felt like it felt in motion. It felt like part of something bigger, like you said, Frank, and I liked that aspect of it. It was good. I just liked the way it was depicted, and the world buildingness of it was cool, and it looked good. I liked the way the guards were dressed. I liked that. I liked that the head of Faldara has a black bird on his banner, and he's got these cool feathers on his shoulder pads.
Oh yeah,
and it was cool. Like the design was really good, which I like. Which I'm always on the lookout for, because that's an area where the show has fallen down for me. So when it hits it, I'm like, oh, there it is. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they nailed Faldara pretty hard. It was good. It looked different than the other cities. It felt different. It didn't just feel like Tar Valon with a different lighting. It looked neat.
It wasn't Vancouver, and it wasn't necessarily New Zealand. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. What about the back and forth, which is an interesting way of putting it, between Nyveen and Lan in this? What are our feelings?
The back and forth.
First, following him, spying on him with his family, I thought was super adorable. I was like, which was just like looking through the window, seeing who he's in town to meet.
Oh, but he did that. He did that crazy because she's watching him, and then she turns, and he's there, and I was like, that guy's a warder. Look at him. He's warding.
Oh.
Warder's got a ward.
Yeah.
But I like that. I mean, I think we hinted a bit this in an earlier episode that they do have a relationship in the books, but I like that they're establishing it, I feel like, a lot earlier in this show than it is in the
Yes.
books. And I think
Yeah.
it does well for the show. And it's another shorthand thing of, we're not going to wait 5 seasons for this because no one's going to care. So let's just go ahead and build these characters out.
See,
Yeah.
that's where the CW could come in. You don't need the other CW part. There's your relationship right there.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't need any more.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Land is not only
Batman.
Aragorn, but also Batman. Thank you. But I do like the pacing of their relationship, and I like how organic and real it feels. I was a little disappointed. I made a note of it that after their night together, Niveen,
Nynaeve.
Naive.
No,
Nynaeve.
Nynaeve. Two
Nynaeve.
ends.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Nynaeve. Isn't smiling after their night. Like there seems like she's just like, all right, that was okay. And I read her body language as mild disappointment in the night, which I'm like, oh man.
No, I didn't get that. I didn't get that at
Well,
all. I thought it was like,
I think I'm wrong because they did have the stay moment afterwards as he asked her to stay, which is cute. But I made a note of like, oh, they didn't really enjoy it, and then I remembered that they're going to die the next day.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
there's
like,
there's
maybe
a
I'm
few
just-
things like, going to die. She was a wisdom, so potentially this could have been her first time with only time with a guy.
Well, there's no future for
And-
her at very least. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like, because the wisdoms, they don't have
Relations.
husbands or relations, so it's possible this was her first experience.
And Lan is too busy being a warder, so
Yeah,
it's not like he really gets it on.
and Nynaeve is a hard ass, so like it all kind of like plays into their character.
Well, we've seen warders get physical before, and I
But
think
Lan isn't.
Lan
one of
definitely
them.
is more of
Yeah.
a stony personality.
he's a
And
Malcari king. No, I'm not
Yeah,
letting you.
he's-
I'm not letting you do this to Lan, especially when he's played by an Asian man. They fucked and it was
Gets it.
awesome.
Thank
did
you.
It.
Thank
They
you.
did it. They did it.
Yeah.
It was great. They both had a great time. There was like a moment where Egwene was like, "Where were you?" And she was like, and
Yeah.
it was definitely
Yeah.
like we were bumping. It was good.
So to clarify, just so this is clear enough, I think I do believe warders probably can have relations. Wisdom cannot marry. That's kind of basic. I think also, in the 80s we could pass this off as cannot have relations. I'm not gonna apply that to today. Maybe she can. She just can't. She can't marry one person or something along those lines. You can't have. I don't know what the rules are in this role. It's not really established. I think the obvious answer is that they just shared a moment together, and it could only be one moment because of what's going to happen the next day. So it was tinged with sadness, but then afterwards, Nynaeve and Egwene have a kind of a powwow moment where they're together in her room.
That was good.
So that bed doesn't look like it's been slept in. And they have like the coolest moment where they're just grinning, these big Cheshire grins. It's it's great. I love it. So yeah, and I do my second note is the stay scene, which I thought was super romantic. It plays off really well. I'm sorry, my 3 notes were good night with 4 exclamation points because I was outraged that they say goodnight and she left. I was like, what? Then she comes back and I'm like, oh, was it not a good night together? And then the stay thing. So that is literally 50% of my notes on this episode were about that hookup. I'm just saying it was a good hookup. Good storyline. Go on, Natty.
Oh no, I was agreeing with you. But there's also there's so many other things. Can we talk about Pat and Fane? I love talking about Pat and Fane. So I was saying it earlier, but when we're in the ways and the Trolloc comes and there's a flash of lightning and he's standing there after the whistle, like you get him for like a second, and then when they're in the city, and he kind of the way he walks out of the Ways Gate. I mean, he has such a like bounce to his walk. Like I really enjoy how this guy is embodying the character. And then they're walking around the city, and Perrin goes, "Yeah, I think I just saw Patton Fane." And I think it's Nynaeve is like, he died back at Emmons Field. You didn't see him.
Which I don't know why
And
she would say that. She didn't like see a
we,
body, but
well,
Is she just
yeah,
assuming that? Is that
yeah,
what we're supposed to read that
Y-
as?
in
yeah,
a place where like not very many people died, maybe, but whatever,
yeah.
it's fine.
So I'm very excited to see how that all plays out.
So when we watched it, my boyfriend was like, "It's Matt. He came." I'm like, "Nope, nope, nope." But I did notice he kind of walked out, and it kind of had the Matt bounce. He kind of swaggered like Matt.
Yeah.
So I liked how they did that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I noticed any of this. I don't think I did. I did notice, well, except for parents. Again, people sometimes get upset when filmmakers make something very explicit. And then I'm the example of why it's necessary. Because if Perrin didn't say, "Did I just see Patton Fane?" I'm like, "Oh, all right." And then even in the little beginning moment where they flash back to Patton Fane as a character, I was "Oh yeah, that guy was there and had a name for some reason." I just assumed he was a peddler. I didn't think there was anything of him. But I guess since you put him in the flashback, then he's someone I'm going to have to remember. Ah, man.
So we've been mentioning him pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
Like he's been everywhere you want to be.
He's following them.
I don't know why this is barely registering for me.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But yes. So what else? What other amazing things do you? Perrin is very Wolfman-ish, is my other note. I think he's playing this off as gruff and grumble really hard. He's got the voice down. If he doesn't become a werewolf at some point, I'll be very upset. But then again, if you remember in earlier episodes of this show, I predicted that Perrin would be the Dragon Reborn.
I mean, maybe he is. We don't know.
It's a different turning of the wheel.
Yeah. It could be Matt's two younger sisters. Maybe they were left in Emmons Field. No, it can't be them. Sorry. I'm trying to think.
I enjoyed the Blight.
Yes.
Ooh. The Blight is great. Blight is really important to me.
I thought of you when I saw the Blight.
Yeah.
I thought of you because you mentioned it last episode. You wanted it.
So the Blight is just something that is moving forward, just moving down from Shao Ghul, and just taking over. So that's why Valdara is the way it is, because everything around them has been taken over. Malkieri's gone because it's in the Blight. So I really needed it to be awesome. And so like you were saying, in the books you have a different perspective. For me, the Blight looks like in War of the Worlds, that like plant.
Red. Yeah.
Yes, red, sticky, gooey. But this worked. It was creepy. It worked.
Cool.
It was.
And I like the sound design of the Blight also. I keep going back. I think they're doing it had this creaking sound to it, kind of. I think they're doing nice, subtle things with sound.
Because it's growing. Like that's it's always moving forward. It's always inching forward.
Like vines on the march.
Yes, and so the more powerful the Dark One gets, the faster that moves.
So, Larlar, you said, is it Shao Ghul for Frank? That's the Eye of the World, right? Or is it?
No,
that's what is that?
Shao Ghul is where the Dark One is. Are
they
in the Eye of the World? Is that the same thing?
I thought so, but it feels like it's a different place. I don't know.
It's different. It's different. I mean, who knows? But Shao Ghul's where the Dark. It's basically Mordor.
Mm-hmm. So basically, there are two towers. So we don't know which. We're done doing this.
Well, no, Malkieri's 7 towers. We have 7 towers.
Oh, well, there you go. It's completely different.
So many more towers.
Yeah.
I can't
I
wait
think-
for the episode that's called "The Return of the King." That one's going to be really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and it turns out Land's not the king; it's somebody else.
Oh,
That's the twist. And we mentioned this briefly at the beginning, but I think we should all spend some time on it. Is the reveal of Rand as a dragon? I loved it. Again, as I said in the beginning, at the top of the show, I love it when media has me figure something out a moment before I'm told it. So I recalled that this episode I'm watching started with a redheaded pregnant woman fighting in the snow, which was an amazing scene that I would have never forgotten, but it just sort of slipped in the back of my mind because there was a lot of good things going on, including all these character moments. Like my Lan and Nynaeve was really 50% of my notes on this was their relationship with one evening with each other. So like I'm totally invested in their relationship. It's a will they, won't they, and then they do, and then I'm excited, and then and in the back of my head I'm forgetting about the dragon. I even forgot that the next day they were going to die. That's why I brought that up. So I'm like, why didn't they have a good night together? Because I'm just thinking about the couple, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, they're about to go to their death. That's
you're
one
like,
of the
come on,
reasons.
guys. Come on,
back
guys.
into
Have
the
fun.
fantasy. Yeah, I'm back into the fantasy story
Be so
now.
serious.
And then a moment before, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. They were trying to figure out who the dragon is. I remember the beginning of the episode, and that moment, that kind of like explosion in your mind, I love that. It was an amazing reveal for me. I really did. Otherwise, I would have been very disappointed that the obvious person who is obviously the dragon was the dragon. You know, the handsomest, whitest guy on the cast was the dragon. I'm like, yeah, all right, fine. But yeah, it worked out well for me. What about the rest of you?
She had to wear her mask. That totally put me out of it. The ale when they fight, they wear the mask.
Oh,
but that's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm okay. Whatever.
She was going through labor and fighting
Whatever.
6 guys.
You still put it on. And I get it because of TV. They want to show her face. But
you must hate Marvel movies because everyone is just mask off, mask off, mask off.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine with that. It's just the whole point of the AEO fighting is wearing the mask, and Tom talked about how this wasn't a fair death because they weren't wearing the mask. And look, there's a woman who's AEO fighting.
That is fair. That is fair.
Whatever.
Point. Yeah, it is a pop point that they established and immediately dropped. But aside from that, what did you think of the reveal, the Rand reveal?
I liked it.
The Rand reveal.
The Rand reveal with mint jelly.
I appreciate it. The only thing I was thinking is, if he did those kind of things, the with the magic, the one source, and there were other guys around, they would have seen too. But then I didn't think too hard into it because I'm like, that was still good. Still good reveal.
But wouldn't the guys have had? Don't they have to be able to use the one power to see it?
See, I don't remember. I
would assume.
I just know that females can't see it. I don't know if I need to go back and read. Some
quick comments I want to just read out. If your water breaks, you could break the rule. I like that. I like that as a rule in the universe. And she's not supposed to be pregnant. That seems more severe. Oh, they're not supposed to be pregnant. That's interesting. It's probably something I'm not supposed to know yet. So that's fine if we wait until that gets developed later on, if it in fact it is. Natty, what did you think of the Rand reveal?
I loved it. It's funny because it's kind of can be a bad storytelling crutch, I think, to give you the quick cut flashback of like it's almost like Scooby-Doo, like remember this and this and this and this, and you're like, I was watching the show and but like when he knocks down the door and then they give the little wisp of Sidon, and when he knocks the Trolloc off, it's like, and what was it when he was carrying Tam, right? Was that another one of the ones they showed?
Oh, I can't remember the montage
in the ways.
Yeah. Oh.
No, not in the way, but like in Evans Field when Tam got
Hurt. Yeah.
hurt, wasn't he using a little bit of his one power to get him back to the town? I forget.
Maybe.
Like so like it was all these things where you're just like, oh, this is a nice reveal. Okay,
Mhm.
so I liked it.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, it wasn't really super overpowering with the. In my opinion, like seeing all those things didn't make me think, "Oh my god, it was in front of me the entire time," because it really was not. Everybody has done a miraculous thing once or twice in this, telling me that like, no, he knocked down a real heavy door.
Yeah.
It wasn't
But
like,
that's
oh my
also
goodness. Like this
that's
wasn't. This
also
was a Kaiser Sose where I'm like, oh my god, it's all the clues.
How could it be? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also super important because all of them have done remarkable things.
Yeah.
All of them are special. What Rand has done is very insignificant. And he's the one that's going to be fighting the Dark One next episode.
Absolutely.
So he looks like he's a little screwed.
The least remarkable chosen
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. Joe, what about you? What did you think of it?
I was lukewarm on the reveal. Like I thought it was all right. It was like, okay, yeah, you had to get this done. You got it done. Good for you. Like I thought there were so many other cool things in this episode. And yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is tempered expectations. I was just again, the most obvious person is the chosen one in this, and I'm like, all right, but the filmmaking choice of Mom in the beginning took it over the top for me, so I was glad for that. So we're running out of time. What are we hoping for in the final episode?
A person, place, thing, idea that has not shown up yet that I need to show up.
What?
For God's sakes, private chat to me. For goodness sake, Laura. Like,
yeah. What is?
I
promise I won't look.
What is the first letter of this person's name?
Or place, or thing, or idea?
Wait,
Yeah, it's going to be in the private chat.
Oh shit!
There's
Yeah. They don't have time for that. They don't have time for that.
Oh my god! You don't know how much temptation I have to.
Oh come on!
I'm not going to know. What it is.
He's like the Tom Bombadil of Wheel of Time. Like,
no! I love Laura.
You're muted. You're muted, Laura.
It is absolutely perfect to be screaming about Tom Bombadil. I'm muted.
I need to see him. Okay, I need to see him, and
fair.
he's not going to show up, and I know he's not going to show up, but I need to see.
I can't resist
because he's awesome.
I know the name's not going to mean. Yep, means nothing to me. So I clicked on it. There it is.
Ho ho ho.
I honestly forgot he existed, but now that
I
you
did
say
too.
it, I'm like, oh yeah, right. I remember that.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
If you had pearls on, you'd be clutching them.
I haven't read this in almost 30 years.
I haven't read it in like 10. I still remember him.
Hey, 30. You know what's fun? I don't even know what this comment is about, but is that correct, Lauren? Was he the skull at the end? I don't know. I don't know.
At the end of this episode?
Watch it. Maybe it makes sense to you. It may not. I don't know. This could be all nonsensical. Natty, what are you looking forward to? What do you want in this last episode to be like happy with your life?
I would answer that, but I want a really quick comment on how awesome Nynaeve was in the ways with her explosion of power again. We get to really see how strong she is against Smasha Jen. And we also got to see, I think maybe we mentioned the last episode, so Rand, when he goes and like his way of dealing with things is to use his bow and arrow. And that's a really big thing. I think, Judd, you were mentioning it, where he goes, he I don't know if it'll be explained more, but it doesn't give anything away. But so Tam would say, focus on a white flame or white the flame, right? And let everything else go away. And it's so that you can, like, you are the bow, you are the arrow, and
that's
whatever. I was really kind of hoping, though, because when he was doing it, that he would. I wanted an arrow split because that's always such another trope. But it's just like a fun, like the last shot would just be like him going rah, push and push or whatever. It didn't happen. That's fine.
I'm mixing up my shows. I thought maybe they mentioned it, but I think that was Hawkeye.
No,
I
they
think in Hawkeye
they
was
did
talking about
not.
splitting of the arrow.
Yes,
Mixing up my archers.
Hawkeye did.
Yeah.
Also that finale. Hello.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
Ooh, hello.
Me too.
But
all right. So yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a cool thing you'd like to see in the finale for the season. Yeah.
I want to see cool things.
Yeah. All right, Judd. What about you?
I'd like. I don't know. I just kind of want to be set up for the next season. I just want to like leave a little bit hungry, and maybe feel good that it's not going to look like the CW in season 2. They've learned from their mistakes, and just like a little bit, not a full on cliffhanger, but a little hungry for more. I'd love it if the last scene was Lan and Rand kind of going through their sword forms, because I think that's kind of how the book ended, and it shows that it shows how far Rand has come, that he can like go through his forms with Lan, and almost not quite like an equal, but like a peer, and yeah, that's what I want. That's the scene I want. I want it to end with Lan and Rand going through their sword forms, maybe a little sword in the void. Maybe Lan drops his like words. When you hear them, you'll be like, "Oh shit, those are the words Judd's been talking about."
Nice.
And about duty and death, and just end it right there, and then just cut and leave me a little hungry for more, but not like, oh my goodness, what now?
Right.
And Judd would like that to happen just outside of Camelin. So
just outside of Camelin.
Yeah. So they're
So
doing this. They're doing the sword forms, and then Rand turns and he goes, "Wait, what is this?" And Lan says, "That's Camelin." Fade to black.
Fade to black. Cut.
Love it. So again, with no context, I can't say any specifics, but what I've loved about the show so far is some of the set design, some of the world building, and so a nice, cool, interesting location would be fun. Some great filmmaking techniques, like that flashback that I lost by the end of the third act. That was really neat. But in terms of connections with characters, they're all great. They're all fun to some extent. I don't know if I really care much about anybody. Oh, I know. It's controversial, but I'm saying Nynaeve and Lan, I want to see them together, squared off as like as what I'm calling a power couple, but like as a warder and a wielder of I don't want to make her into any group, like make her join any group she is not quite sold on, but like I like to see the two of them put forward as if they are going to be something interesting that I could follow moving forward. I have no idea if that has anything to do with anything that happens in the show. I suspect it doesn't in the book, because I suspect it doesn't, because apparently the relationship takes a while before it cooks. But I wanted to get going because that is really the pairing I like the most so far, and I really think it would be exciting to see.
You just want more relationships.
You
want the CW.
Yeah.
No. I want good relationships. But
so
then, yes,
did you say that's the pairing that you want to see? I'm just kidding. Sorry.
We're never doing another episode of the show. We're doing one more episode of the show. So for those of you who do not like
me,
for those of you who do not like spoilers or not watching trailers for the next episode, we're about to watch it, and then afterwards we're gonna say goodbye. So one more episode probably of Spiel of Time for this season.
I've got one more thing I want to say. For the cold open, I think we need to a cool cold open for the next episode would be seeing episodes 1 through 7 quickly through a montage in Padden Fane's point of view. That'd be nice too. That'd be my opening.
That would be very helpful to this guy too. He's like, oh yeah, he was there.
Hey, remember this guy? Yeah.
Anyway, Where's Waldo of Wheel of Time? He isn't Where's Waldo, right? That would be hilarious. If he's a guy, I'm just here.
He's Gollum. He's Gollum is what he is.
Oh, all right. I am going to play the trailer right now, and then we'll come back and say our goodbyes.
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
We're getting closer. The Dark One's strength is building.
The last battle is here. All 5 of you have a part to play.
I promise you, when your life's on the line, the power will be there.
The Wheel of Time, only on Prime Video.
Loud as hell, but that was
Very loud.
only posted on Twitter, so also the aspect ratio, but interesting.
Short.
We're getting a big
Too
battle.
short.
Yeah, big battle,
Battle
is one of the things
5
I kinda
armies.
wanted.
The big Helm's Deep.
Or Blackwater. I could do references. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. That also tends to be a ready explanation for why you have bottle episodes that take place in all one location or mostly in one location, and why you have episodes that seem like they're on a back lot in New Zealand because you're saving up budget for a big thing at the end. Which honestly, it worked for other fantasy shows. I get why they would do it, and it makes sense here. I don't know if it makes sense narratively in the story, I guess. I'm assuming there's a big battle in the first book, or else Robert Jordan got away with murder. If there wasn't a big battle in your fantasy book, what are you here for?
We also got a nice glimpse of Dark Matt.
Yeah, Matt's back. That's good. All footage they found on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Matt's like,
Matt-
what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Shit, I guess I'll go to Camelin. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, as long as we
there it
go to
is, there it
Camelin.
is.
He grabs all the horses and he's like, I'm going to go sell these suckers in Camelin. Land's
Yeah.
Land's
horse
horse
trainer.
is going to make me a
Yeah.
fortune.
Yeah. Come on, Bella. Come on,
Mandarb? Mandy?
Mandarb?
Oh,
Mandarb?
good
yeah.
one. Good one, Lila.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is all clicks and whistles. I have no idea what's happening.
He loves that horse, man. Loves that horse.
I absolutely, I love, after decades of being a geek, I'm finally on the other side. Where I'm like, sure,
Yeah.
sure,
you
yeah.
guys-
Tony Stark is a iron giant. Got it. Whatever.
Yeah,
Sure.
Bit,
whatever.
bit by a spider, you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
People
Oh,
get bit by spiders, and he controls spiders. I get it. No, it's fine. It's a thing. I get it. Nope. This is what I've been doing to people all these years.
How's it feel?
Shit,
How's
it
it feel?
feels kind of great. I love it. I really do enjoy this. You can't undersell this. It's really fun for me. And I was like, do I want to look at the private chat? And I look at those words and I'm like, nope, not a clue. So good. All right. See you next week for our last episode of the while. Hi, guest. And we're gonna
Oh,
wave as the
he
music
ran
comes in.
away.
He ran away. Yep, that's what's gonna happen. The last episode.
Bye-bye.
Matt's
See
gonna
you
show up
next
for
time.
Thanks, guys.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.